Long time ago, many people were wondering about the origin of life on Earth. How did life begin? What is the source of life? How long has life been existing? These three questions were going through people's heads many centuries ago. As a result, a lot of scientists have been thinking and searching for clues to find an answer for these questions. Many scientists reach some answers and make some theories. One theory is that the protein is the building block of life because living organisms are like everything else, composed of molecules. This drives Stanley Miller to conduct an experiment which is considered the first phase of the supposed evolutionary process leading to life. He got two flasks, one containing water which represents the ocean and the other containing mixture of hydrogen, methane and ammonia which represents the early atmosphere of the Earth. He connected the two flasks, exposing them to electrical sparks as a stand-in for lightning. After a few days, the water color turned into green and molecules of fatty acids, sugars, amino acids and other organic compounds were formed. Proteins didn't suddenly burst into being, but how did they really get here? Just like what happened in Miller's experiment, amino acids were formed due to some chemical reactions, yet these amino acids are arranged in a certain order forming proteins. Lord Kelvin came up with another very interesting theory that germs of life might have been brought to Earth with some meteoroids. Some theories mention that meteoroids from space hit the Earth bringing amino acids, phosphorus and carbonaceous chloride, which are the basic elements of life on Earth. When Apollo 11 came from space, it brought with it samples of rocks which were found to contain amino acids. Also, when Heinous Comet hit our Earth, scientists found out that it contains 25% of organic compounds. Panspermia, which is the hypothesis that life exists throughout the universe, was the start for scientists to question the beginning of life. Throughout research, scientists found out that there is a tiny bundle of genetic material passed from one living entity to another that never stopped since then, and that's what they call the Big Birth theory. Only through research and a lot of efforts, scientists were finally able to describe how Earth looks like today and in the past. An ecosystem is a biological environment consisting of all the organisms living in a particular area as well as all the non-living interacting all together. The world had its first ecosystem when stromatolites, a kind of a bacterial rock, filled the shallows of the seabed. It is considered a living rock that has a variety of primitive organisms living on the surface and others living underneath, each one of them taking advantage of the conditions created by the other. The part underneath the water produced oxygen for the upper part by photosynthesis, and the upper part produced CO2 for the lower part by respiration. The current model of the evolution of the first living organisms is that there were some form of prokaryotes, which are the cells without nucleus, which may have evolved out of protobionts. The eukaryotes, which the cells are with nucleus, are generally thought to have evolved later in the history of life. The history of life was that of the unicellular eukaryotes and prokaryotes until 610 million years ago, when multicellular organisms began to appear in the oceans. A remarkable amount of biological diversity appeared over approximately 10 million years in an event called the Cambrian explosion, which have been exposed, including the accumulation of oxygen in the atmosphere from the photosynthesis. About 500 million years ago, plants and fungi colonized the land and were soon followed by arthropods and other animals. Amphibians first appeared 300 million years and then followed by mammals around 200 million years ago, and finally birds around 100 million years. The evolution process continues till it reached us now. Many theories and hypotheses were made, Some of them were supported while others were not, but ironically we still don't know what the real source of life on Earth is.